Plus, Nigerian youths challenged to take advantage of business opportunities in agriculture. Still very much in the mood of the Eid al-Fitr celebrations, we begin by telling you that Muslim faithful across Nigeria joined their counterparts the world over in observing the prayers marking the end of the month-long Ramadan fast. President Muhammadu Buhari, who worshipped at his official residence in Abuja, called for understanding, support and cooperation of Nigerians as law enforcement agencies intensify efforts at securing the country more effectively. State House correspondent Adam Musambo has details.
Another moment of thanksgiving to Allah as the journey of faith, sacrifice, obedience, and spiritual reawakening lasting 30 days comes to an end. But in line with the dictates of the COVID-19 safety protocols, major Eid grounds were avoided as worshipping is restricted to the neighborhood and indeed family units. And in demonstration of leadership by example, President Muhammadu Buhari worshipped at the forecourt of the seat of government alongside the First Lady Aisha Muhammadu Buhari and the immediate family members. Senate President Ahmed Lawan, Speaker Femi Bajabiamila, few ministers and service chiefs were also in attendance. The chief imam of the State House Masjid, Sheikh Abdul Wahid Suleiman, who led the 2 Rak'at prayers, thanked Allah for his guidance, protection, and mercies during the blessed month and prayed fervently for an end to the various challenges bedeviling the country. Muslims, he however said, must genuinely repent from sinful acts and ensure that great virtues and values of peace, love, forgiveness, tolerance, and charity imbibed during the holy month are never discarded. Special prayers were also offered for national unity, stability, as well as sustainable growth and development of the country. President Muhammadu Buhari, who spoke to NTA News shortly after, reassured Nigerians that the government is committed to restoring peace, law and order across Nigeria.
Within the last few weeks, we had about 7 hours meeting. I think the National Security Advisor had gone public to what he could go public with and explain. We understand the problem. We are going by the Constitution. We are doing our best with the resources available and the manpower available to us. We are working very hard, and I think the National Assembly is cooperating very well.
So what do you expect from Nigerians? What do you want from them now?
I expect Nigerians to be more understanding and try to understand the issues involved within the time limit and the resources available to the country. Our biggest surprise and disappointment is what is happening in the Northwest, and we are going to deal with it so that people can go back to the land. This is very important so that we can get enough food for the country and even export.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan, who also spoke to newsmen, harped on the need for Nigerians to bury their differences and make concerted efforts towards achieving unity and stability.
The president is reaching out to all the stakeholders, and I believe that as leaders, particularly those of us that are elected at all levels of government, we should avoid partisanship, we should avoid regionalism. We are all leaders and we are in this together. The solutions must come from us regardless of what level of government we are, whether at the federal level or at the state level or even at the local government level.
Truth be told, we all have equal shares in the blame in whatever challenges we have. We must all come together to make sure that we resolve whatever issues. It is that spirit of oneness and that spirit of togetherness and unity and love that will take us through this.
In the meantime, the presidency has announced that President Muhammadu Buhari will not be receiving guests on Salah homage as he planned a modest celebration. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Abuja National Mosque played host to hundreds of Muslims for the Eid al-Fitr prayer led by the Murshid Professor Shehu Saeed Galadanchi. he enjoined worshippers to uphold the virtues and training learnt during the Ramadan. Abdullahi Ajia reports that the 2 rakat prayers were held in the mosque and they were in compliance with COVID-19 protocols. All right, we'll bring you that report as we get it. In the meantime, Nigeria's First Lady, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has emphasized the need for parents to put more efforts into guiding and protecting their children against all kinds of abuse and other social vices to complement government in providing a safe and secure environment. The First Lady stated this in an interview shortly after the completion of the Eid al-Fitr prayer at the State House. Aliu Kabir reports.
The First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, accompanied by her family members and other Nigerian women, joined the President and other Muslim worshippers for the congregation of Eid al-Fitr prayer at the State House as part of the celebration marking the end of this year's Ramadan fast. Mrs. Buhari used the occasion to call on Muslim Ummah, especially the women folk, to uphold the lessons learned during the Ramadan fast and use it as their daily affairs for proper upbringing of their children. While congratulating the Muslim Ummah for the peaceful completion of Ramadan fast,
Alhamdulillah, we thank the Almighty Allah for witnessing the end of Ramadan. I wish all Nigerian Muslims happy Eid al-Fitr. I would also like to convey my message to Nigerian women, strongly appealing to them to take responsibility of their children by guiding and protecting them against abuse and other social vices. They must watch movements within their neighborhoods and report suspected dealings.
On the occasion of this year's Eid, after much fasting and prayer nationwide by our Muslim brothers and sisters, we look forward to God's mercy and grace on our nation and upon our people. At this time of great challenges in the nation, the fears and pain, the loss of lives and property may discourage us as well as break our hearts. But we must keep our focus on the great promises of God for our nation, peace, prosperity, and greatness of our nation.
Enough of this banditry. Government alone cannot do it. We're appealing that all well-meaning Nigerians should speak out and expose all the evil ones within the society.
We should all join hands. We should be prayerful so that all these criminal acts of banditry, kidnapping, all the social vices that are associated with our children, they should all shun it.
the First Lady emphasized the need for Muslims to remain steadfast in prayer for peace, unity, and development of the country. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
All right, let's now bring you that report from Abdullahi Ajia on the 2 rakat prayers held at the National Mosque, Abuja.
It is a day of Eid al-Fitr, a day of happiness and celebration for the Muslim community worldwide, having completed the 30 days of Ramadan fast. And faithful in the nation's capital, Abuja, converged on the premises of the National Mosque to observe the 2 rakat prayer led by the Murshid, Professor Sheikh Said Galadenchi. And in his Eid al-Fitr sermon, the Imam enjoins Muslims to continue with the lessons and virtues cultivated in Ramadan.
We learned all the important things during Ramadan. We learned to be very patient. We learned to be very honest. We learn to be very obedient. One thing which is important also for us is to continue having all what we learned during Ramadan.
The admonition also encourages worshippers to be steadfast in the fear of Allah and supporting national peace and development.
And we do hope that Allah will help our leaders, will help us to really deal with these challenges so that, inshallah, within a very short period, we will deal with all these security challenges. But of course, everybody is responsible to participate in this.
We thank Almighty God for sparing our life to see this day.
Thank God for everything. God has been so merciful to us. So we are so appreciative of everything.
In the end, the cleric, in optimism and hopes, prayed for Allah to intervene in the challenges of the country. From the National Mosque, Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
The All Progressives Congress celebrates with the Muslim faithful and all Nigerians on the occasion of this year's Eid al-Fitr after 30 days of abstinence from worldly pleasures and utmost devotion to Almighty Allah. In a statement, John James Akpan Udo Idehe, National Secretary, Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the APC, enjoined Nigerians to use the period to demonstrate the essence of Ramadan, which is about personal sacrifice and sharing with the less privileged. The APC urged Nigerians to use the occasion to pray for the leaders and the country's peace and development, and noted the collective efforts are required to ensure that citizens enjoy the many pro-people developmental strides of the Buhari administration in an atmosphere of peace. The APC calls on all people of goodwill and patriotic citizens to use the occasion to extend their spiritual support for the efforts of the administration in its continued quest to place the country on the path of economic prosperity. And Governor Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State has advocated the need for peace as Muslims all over the world celebrate Eid al-Fitr, marking the end of the Ramadan fast. Governor Sani Bello disclosed this after observing 2 rakat prayers with other faithful at the Kotongora Eid praying ground. While congratulating Muslims for their perseverance during the Ramadan fast, the governor admonished the citizens to be cautious of their environment and report any suspicious and uncomfortable movements within their neighborhoods. He reiterated the need for the people to intensify prayers so that peace is restored to Nigeria, especially Niger State. In his sermon, Chief Imam of the Emir's Palace, Kotongora, Malam Shehu Rimaye, who led the 2 rakat prayers, expressed gratitude to Allah for guiding them through the Ramadan period amid security challenges and cautioned parents to stop their wards from indecent dressing, which he described as un-Islamic. The statements by Mary Noel Barje, Chief Press Secretary to the Niger State Governor, indicates that Governor Sani Bello later paid a visit to the Emir of Kotongora after the Eid prayer. This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24 up ahead. Senate President describes calls for restructuring as counterproductive. This and more when we return. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back. Let's continue with the Salah celebrations for about 30 days. From sunrise to sunset, Muslims who participated in the Ramadan denied themselves all forms of fluid, food and sexual activities. Globally, they converged to mark the end of the period called Eid al-Fitr. Adebola Brookslin's Sunday was at the Aguma Palace in Gwagwalada Area Council of Abuja, where the community head celebrated with both his immediate and extended family.
Celebration, which is an Islamic festival that marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan, began with a 2-rakat prayer at the Eid ground.
If we don't talk about prayer in this country, I don't think we are going anywhere.
After the prayer comes the celebration, where the culture of Basa people was on display. On arrival at the palace, youths, elderly, title holders, and other groups took turns to pay homage to their king, who says the entire people of the community are his family members.
I am so happy because last year we didn't have an opportunity to witness this. So this year, we thank God.
It signifies togetherness, and the strength of the power lies on the hands of the people.
Members of his immediate family also joined the Aguma in the palace for the celebration.
Pray Allah accepts our fast and give us a peaceful country.
One of the take-homes from the celebration is the need for the people to continue to live in peace with each other.
Let everybody keep any personal interest. Let us work for the progress of the country.
The Aguma and his family then proceeded to the special cultural ground for Tibara, a show of power by the Basa people.
When I see stuff from NTA, I say, oh no, I can't just spell out how I'm feeling.
The Tibara show forms the climax of the celebration. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
And as Muslims celebrate Eid al-Fitr, Nigerians are enjoined to continue engaging in activities that will promote peaceful coexistence. Aisha Uba Ali, who spent time with the Mutawallen Gombe family, reports that it is not only a time to celebrate, but also a time to come together and pray for the unity of the nation.
After the 30 days of Ramadan fast, every Muslim is anxious to hear of the sighting of the moon, which heralds the Eid celebration. At the residence of Mutawallen Gombe in Garuki area of the FCT, Aliyu Murtala, also the present General Secretary of Arewa Consultative Forum, as well as a former Minister of State for Power, the celebration commenced after the 2 Rakat prayers.
So should wake up to his responsibility, remain peaceful, and also learn about the religion. Because quite a number of things that are happening are done by ignorant people.
While speaking on national issues, he believes politicians have a big role to play in ensuring a peaceful and united nation.
And I think that the politicians must, understand that they cannot rule in chaos. There must be peace first.
One of the guests says it has been a cordial relationship with the family, with the hope that Nigerians will continue to embrace love and tolerance, which is a great virtue.
A resident on the government, to ensure that the private sector, which of course drives, the economies of other nations, to strive, provide the enabling environment to ensure that the private sector, really drives the economy.
The home of the Mutawallis, according to his wife, Rukaya, is a place where doors are always opened for all, irrespective of the religious and tribal divide.
I'm so used to doing this because I came from a very large family. I used to entertain people.
People should always maintain and sustain lessons that they learn from Ramadan.
And for all the guests who came around, it will be adjudged a salah worth the while. In Abuja, Aisha Uba Ali, NTA News.
As part of activities to mark this year's Eid al-Fitr, FCT Minister of State Ramatu Tijani Aliyu distributed food items and clothing to persons living with disabilities in the Federal Capital Territory. The minister used the occasion to reaffirm the commitment of the FCT administration in the empowerment of this category of people and to ensure that they are not only self-reliant but employers of labour. Ifeanyi Izumba reports.
FCT Minister of State Ramatu Tijani Aliyu said that the administration has commenced profiling of persons living with disabilities and training in various skill acquisition programs in line with one of the core mandates of the Social Development Secretariat.
To ensure that they earn a living by themselves and by extension become employers of labor. And then we will make it available to secure for them the market through schools and other means where the soaps they make will be transferred for use.
The chairperson, Network of Disabled Women, Louis Alta Udokanta, thanked the minister for using the occasion to cushion the effect of post-COVID-19 in the lives of persons with disabilities.
We are
are very proud of this gesture, and we pray for greater opportunities for our Honorable Minister. We pray for more blessings.
Over 100 persons living with disabilities benefited from the gesture. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Izumba, NTA News.
Muslims in Cross River State were advised to celebrate with caution and observe the necessary COVID-19 protocols. Cross River State Health Commissioner Dr. Betta Edu gave the advice while distributing palliatives to the Muslim faithful in Bogobiri community. Maureen Leo Ajom has details.
Eid al-Fitr celebration, the Cross River State government is demonstrating love, goodwill, as well as share bounties of God with Muslim faithful, including the vulnerable ones among them. Health Commissioner Dr. Betta Edu also advised Nigerians and the Muslim Ummah on the peculiarities of COVID-19 period and other prevalent diseases, while cautioning the people to make security and safety a priority.
If you wash your hands, you will not just be protecting yourself from COVID-19, you will equally be protecting yourself from cholera, from diarrhea, from other diseases that affect young children and, of course, young people in Nigeria. We don't want to lose our children. We don't want to lose our women. We've also advocated to them to use the health facilities, take vaccines, not just for COVID, vaccines for their children, for mothers within reproductive age, so that they can protect their loved ones.
The joy of the faithful was overwhelming.
Simply tells the Muslim community in Cross River State that yes, they are not in their indigenous state, but they are still in their state.
As they are celebrating with us, we feel impressed.
Thank you to them all. May God reward them, their abundantly, and give them long life.
They will feel happy for her, and may God bless her for what she did for us.
The people of Cross River State were also advised on the need to adhere to the protocols of personal hygiene, proper use of masks, observance of social distancing, while celebrating responsibly. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
Now, what impact does the COVID-19 pandemic have on the celebration at this time? Mitari Ikben in our next report takes a look at Salah celebrations in the nation's capital under COVID-19 restrictions, the new normal.
For the second year running, the COVID-19 protocols are dictating how Eid al-Fitr is observed. At the National Mosque, face masks were made available to worshippers who converged for the Eid prayers.
The circular says places of worship should not accommodate more than 50% of the capacity. Of course, that's what we did automatically. For example, we have 70 rows in the mosque. We eliminated 35.
One of the worshippers, Mubarak Mohammed, tells me it's not been easy using face masks in the last 1 year. He cannot wait for the pandemic to be over.
It's very difficult, but as a patriotic citizen of the nation, we just have to be law-abiding. And at the same time, the prayers, we just have to endure.
The Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 has emphasized that the COVID-19 restrictions and protocols are not punitive, but have been put in place to safeguard public health as well as ensure a balance between saving lives and livelihoods. The government has again ordered the closure of recreational centers for the next 1 month, but some fun seekers still made their way to some recreational facilities. This center now looks like a museum. The disappointment on their faces is obvious as the fun seekers merely moved around to feed their eyes.
Frankly speaking, it's not how it used to be before.
The last time I came here, I had some friends, but now that there is COVID-19, they say social distancing, no friends. So I don't have friends to talk to play with.
The Utako market in the nation's capital leaves much to be desired with regard to COVID-19 protocols, particularly as mandatory use of face mask is flouted. I asked this buyer if she felt safe without the face mask.
I don't feel safe at all. I have my mask, but then it's in the car.
I don't feel safe with or without mask. I don't feel safe at all coming to the market because everything is clustered and there's nothing you can do about it. You still have to come to the market at the end of the day. You know, so many people are uneducated about the mask. They just feel they wear it for the police, they wear it for the NCDC, personnel, not for safety because they are not well educated about it.
Certainly, more sensitization and enforcement of the COVID-19 protocols are required from the relevant agencies. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
In the meantime, Muslims have been urged to deploy the lessons of Ramadan, which include patience, perseverance, and charitable deeds to improve and impact society. Islamic scholars who gave insight into the significance of Ramadan compare the lessons of Ramadan to a spiritual certificate that must be used to change society positively.
As the Muslims implemented all the lessons they have learned, that is to continue giving out charities, righteousness, controlling their utterances, of being an obedient human being to the entire, to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as well as respecting the law of the land and respecting the people who are on or in authority.
Where you are fasting, deliberately, you talk ill of somebody in absentia, that is exactly you have consumed the flesh of that person. And your fasting actually is nowhere to be found. So people are not very careful of that aspect, and that can render their fasting invalidated.
They urged the Ummah to showcase the spiritual certificates obtained in Ramadan by turning a new leaf that will make people testify to seeing a difference in how they conduct themselves. Nigeria Today airs every weekday at 7:30 in the evening. Well, you're still on to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. More reports after this time out. Stay with us.
Let's blow your trumpets. Advertise on NTA News 24, located at the headquarters premises of the NTA, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. Our rates.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Nigerians in the diaspora are invaluable catalysts for national development. The Supervising Minister to the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission and Honorable Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, made this assertion when he delivered a historical lecture at the inaugural Diaspora Quarterly Lecture Series in Abuja. The Diaspora program this week will bring you a full package of the webinar meeting, which recorded over 2,000 participants. This is your favorite program, The Diaspora, and I am Koinsola Adetumbi. Stay tuned. Now enjoy details of the webinar, spiced with questions and answers, particularly as the Minister of Interior gives assurances on expedited actions on passport issues.
We're hoping that through this discourse we'll challenge our intellect, our minds and our hearts as discussants on this platform with all of you participants from the diaspora from all over the world. And we hope that we'll also be able to connect you, Nigerians in the diaspora, with opportunities that are bound back home in Nigeria as we have this constant and continuous conversation. So we encourage all of you Nigerians abroad to participate at this webinar. It's going to be once a quarter, and we'll be selecting things that topics that you say you want to hear. Because what we're trying to do is push diaspora issues to the subnational level. So we welcome all of you, state diaspora focal persons that are participating at this webinar. I'm going to thank all of you once more, Nigerian Diaspora Organization, diaspora groups, individuals, professionals, all of you collectively, individually, for making us proud to be Nigerians. Thank you for all you do in the diaspora. And we're saying that you also need to contribute to your home country. And we at MIDCOM will be the bridge between you and your home country. So we welcome all of you and say that, you know what, this is our country. We all have to work collectively to build our dear country, Nigeria. So welcome to the inaugural Diaspora Quarterly Lecture Series put together by the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission.
I'm excited that this is happening barely 2 weeks or so after the passage of the National Diaspora Policy by the Federal Executive Council. The mobilization of Nigerians in the diaspora for national development has over time become more pertinent given the ever-growing contribution of Nigerians in the diaspora to national development. The population of Nigerians in the diaspora, I understand, is put at conservatively about 70 million. And we value them as real catalysts for economic development of our country. It is on this premise that the federal government went ahead to establish MIDCOM as a vehicle to harness the human capital and material resources of Nigerians in the diaspora towards the overall socio-economic, cultural, and political development of our fatherland. The Nigerians in diaspora are therefore a potential catalyst for the accelerated development of Nigeria, and they deserve to be recognized and treated as such. The government of Nigeria, like many other countries, has realized and acknowledged the impact of the Nigerian diaspora population and their contributions to the overall socio-economic and cultural development of the country. The need, therefore, to effectively and efficiently manage these critical assets gave birth to the call for the establishment of a commission that is dedicated to understanding the diaspora, understanding the phenomenon, and linking it to the country and engaging it as partners for development. This led to the process that culminated in the passage of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission Establishment Act in 2017 by the Nigerian Parliament. It is appropriate at this juncture to announce that the national diaspora policy, as I said earlier, has been developed, and it has in fact received the approval of the Federal Executive Council. The overall objective of the policy is to mobilize and harness the potentials of Nigerians in diaspora in terms of resources, skills, and talents for sustainable national development. Now, yet another strategy at mobilizing the diaspora to participate in development in Nigeria is the constitution of Senate and House of Representatives committees on the diaspora. These committees give practical and legislative backing to diaspora interventions in the development of Nigeria. Without any fear of equivocation, I dare say that His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari could be described as the most diaspora-friendly president Nigeria has had in the recent past.
So the first question to the Honorable Minister, Rauf Aregbesola. Sir, many Nigerians want to know the root cause of the dilemma Nigerians face it, trying to renew their passports and other consular services, and how you plan to change the narrative. When will the nightmare, pain, and anguish of Nigerians trying to simply renew their passports?
Major improvement in our service delivery to Nigerians in the diaspora. We are establishing front offices, that is, non-judgmental passport support centers, passport issuing support centers. As soon as you land in Nigeria and your temporary passport is taken off right there at the airport, but at the airports I've mentioned, you can renew your passport, your expired passport. It is in this regard that the Nigerian regions have been recently granted a waiver for Nigerians with expired passports desirous of coming to Nigeria to do so without fear of harassment by airlines.
We, the Nigerian community in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, unfortunately suffer from the constant structure in the renewal and extraction of the passport, and also the issuance of the national identity card. Their work neither professional or organized. So we need from them to be more organizing when we deal with them, when we want something from them. And this issue is it's not now from the pandemic; it's from the past. So I want to specify which embassy or which consulate it's in Jeddah, in Saudi Arabia. And
we need a constant engagement, constant dialogue, constant interaction between the government in Nigeria and the diaspora. And the brilliant initiative, which I will applaud whoever was behind it, is this establishment of NITCOM. Then we need to have, government need to have a very, very solid and reliable database of the diasporas in their fields of different fields of endeavor. What do they do in their different countries where they are? For instance, we have nuclear physicists, we have doctors, we have everybody. Let us know what they do. Bring them in sector by sector, encourage them to come in. For instance, we need to deal with power issue in Nigeria. If we don't deal with power issue in Nigeria, we are just wasting time. We are just putting the matter, playing around the matter. There's no development can take place if there's no power solution to our problem in Nigeria. So we have experts who have made this work.
I commend NITCOM for this initiative, which is similar to what we initiated some few months ago, which we also communicated to NITCOM, for the need for this type of platform where there will be this interaction between diaspora and the government. This removes, of course, speculations, misinformation, and of course there will be feedbacks of government policies, especially the one that concern diaspora. There is a belief that foreign policy is an extension or continuation of internal policy. Hence, the presence of these two ministers today is a good combination for this maiden event. Nigerians in diaspora are seriously concerned about the following issues, which we expect the Honorable Minister to address, which of course some of them have been addressed as members of the Executive Council of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and as Minister of the Federal Republic, whose responsibility are some of these issues. First of all, the issue of security. Security has become a pandemic issue, it has become an issue that is of concern to diasporans, and we are very concerned about because it's also affecting us in promoting Nigeria. Because when we are promoting Nigeria for investment, investors are also looking at the situation of things in Nigeria. And as a result, we wish the Minister of Interior, who is in charge of immigration, of course, that our borders are porous and they need to be, closed and properly manned to avoid these herdsmen and terrorists who are crossing our border without any hindrance.
Basically, I have just a few things to mention, that there should be a legislation to bring direct policy to mobilize the diaspora. I'm happy that the Nigerian diaspora policy is being passed, and that's quite an important one. There should really be some short-term consultancy contracts for highly qualified experts of the diaspora. Now, the disparate nature of diaspora drive for homeland business should be reversed into a centrally coordinated system to remove all frustrations.
I must acknowledge our able Chairman, Chief Executive of NIDCOM, Honorable Abike Dabiwerewa, for this important platform that she has curated. And beyond sending remittances, the diaspora can be a potent force for development through promotion of trade and foreign direct investment, curating businesses, and a transfer of knowledge, skills, and technology. These are very important things. And today, what I'm saying, I don't want to go into the part of the complaints and different things with the diaspora. I want to challenge us as diaspora this afternoon to say many of us, we can give back to Nigeria. And I'm saying it is important for us to use our expertise to help build Nigeria, to help make Nigeria a better place. As individuals, we must decide to become informed of the overall issues facing our country and engage in advocating reform, becoming involved in solution rather than criticizing the government from the side as bystanders. As Nigerians in diaspora, we cannot afford to be bystanders when it comes to Nigerian affairs.
And first, let me just congratulate Honorable Abike Dabiwerewa, who is doing an amazing job in engaging the diaspora. Now, the Nigerian diaspora constitute, a viable resource for the mobilization of development interventions for the country, and Nigeria can tap into this huge capital resource of the diaspora and, use this massive reservoir of knowledge, skills, and experiences for development. Now, as an entrepreneur, I would like to suggest that some strategies are put in place to create a more conducive atmosphere for business. There should be a first right of refusal for developmental contracts and projects. Now, most of the contracts are going to the Chinese, so if we can have a first right of refusal, that will help to make us participate more. Now, the state of security in Nigeria is alarming and creating a lot of fear for some of us, who want to travel back to do business. So I would like to call on the federal government to address the corruption within our security apparatus, to professionalize them, increase their numbers, pay them well, and ensure that they do the work that they're supposed to do. And at this point, I think Nigeria has to call for international help for the issue of insurgency to stop, terrorist, activities in the country.
The issue of security and power, which I think I've already addressed. Yes, we do agree that there are deficits in these infrastructures, and the government is doing everything humanly possible to address them. But we cannot wait until we get to the promised land before we start doing something. We just have to keep at it. We will not relent. We must continue to make efforts because, surprisingly, I don't know if you know it, but the truth is that foreigners, in spite of the insecurities that you're talking about, are willing and ready to come to Nigeria to invest. They are coming in droves because of the population, because of the opportunities that abound in Nigeria. They know it, and they know it very well. And there is no country that does not have its own issues. And Nigeria cannot be an exception. So yes, we do appreciate the fact that we have some problems which we are addressing. But like I said, the foreigners are ready and willing, in spite of all odds, to come to Nigeria to invest. So please, don't give up. Don't give up on your country. Do the best that you can to ensure that you mobilize to come and invest in Nigeria.
And we give thanks and praise for the welcome that you've given us. And we are the siege and the testimony that they too will be returning home. So prepare yourself as you've done for us to receive the brothers and sisters to come back home. And that we remember the Dagri, we remember Nigeria. Nigeria, oh! Nigeria, oh! Nigeria, oh! The Dagri, oh!
My name is John Adam Smart. I'm from Kaduna State. In 2017, I traveled to Kenya, hoping for a better life than what I have here back home. But it turns out very bad because of documentation issues. I ended up landed me in prison. I spent 6 months in prison. Thanks to NITCOM, Kaduna State Governor, and Rosalind Ebenebi Foundation, the Nigerian High Commission in Kenya, for facilitating my return back home.
Many thanks to our ministers. Thank you to our Lady Diaspora, NIDCOM staff and management, as well as our contributors and participants. And now we wrap up with our momatrician, Dr. Lulu.
I mean, suicide, at least for the numbers that we have in the US, if there's any other disease that was killing people the way suicide is killing people, I don't know that the world will not be up in arms about it. I mean, I just don't know. I have a few numbers here. Just listen to this. So we have 112 people attempt and possibly die by suicide every day. 112 people, that's about like the size of a big plane, right? Or at least a small, medium-sized plane, okay? Every day, that is, die by suicide, not attempt, but die. 1.3 million attempts. And I know this for a fact. Every 2 hours, a teenager in Texas attempts suicide. So whether my numbers are correct or not, because I mean, I don't want us to get too hooked up in the numbers. Whether my numbers are correct or not, the point is we have an inordinate amount of people dying by suicide. And more people should be talking about it. I mean, more people literally should be talking about it. And my whole idea when I wanted to do this show was to try to take the sting out of it, to try to take the stigma out of it, the silence, and let's shatter the silence about suicide and the things that lead people to kill themselves. And we don't know what really ultimately makes anybody decide to jump. The truth is, if somebody really has their mind made up, you honestly cannot stop them. But I want us to get to them before they get to the point that they want to jump. I want us to get to them while the trauma is happening. I want us to get to them while they're looking normal and they're just walking around looking like everything is okay. I want us to look into their eyes when the going is good. A lot of times we forget that it's those strong ones. They are the ones that need us to talk to them. They're the ones that really are not doing so well, the strong ones. And so if you're hearing me today, I'm giving you permission to start talking about suicide. Really, there's only so many Dr. Lulus out there. There are only so many psychiatrists out there, only so many mental health workers out there. But there are more of you, the layman, the lay people. And honestly, you don't need special training to just try to talk somebody out of something. Just buy them some time. Help them feel visible. Help them feel seen and heard. Help them feel like they matter at that moment. That's really all you gotta do. And tell them Dr. Lulu sent you.
Thank you for staying all through the program. We hope it's been worth your while. And in case you have anything to share with us, please do not hesitate to do so as we expect feedback on our show. Remember, you can reach us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook at Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, on Twitter at NIDCOM_gov, on our Instagram page at NIDCOM_gov, on our YouTube page at NIDCOM_gov, and on our website at www.nidcom.gov.ng. You can also join us on DSTV at NTA Network on Friday at 10:30 a.m., on NTA International on Tuesday at 6 a.m. and 10:05 p.m., on NTA News 24 on Friday at 2:30 p.m., and on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. You can also join us on WAP TV on Thursdays at 9 a.m. and on WTV on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 a.m. And you can join us on Ben TV London at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. I remain your host, Koinsola Adetumbi. See you next time.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Lagos, the center of excellence. A tropical city surrounded by the turquoise Atlantic Ocean, a bounty of natural beauty with miles of pristine beaches, rich culture, and amazing people. Come and enjoy what Africa's fastest growing city has to offer. Explore a city with fantastic historical past and an even brighter future. Today is only the beginning. So much lies ahead. See tomorrow. One Lagos.
Lives are in your hands while you drive. Protect yourself and others on the road. Road Matters, shown on the network service of the NTA. Join us.
We are a nation of believers, a beautiful country steeped in rich tradition and colorful culture. Come and experience.
Hello again, here's an update of the news. I am Dennis Adegunloye. To effectively addressing insecurity in the country, guests on Good Morning Nigeria advocate restructuring that will include devolution of powers and community policing as key to achieving results. They also maintain that implementation of issues raised in the Governors Forum communique will go a long way.
We have great challenges in so many facets of our life, but most importantly is the security challenges we are facing in the country today. And we have sat down and deeply considered that as major priority and that something has to be done.
We had concern about even the capacity of the security forces, the capacity in the sense that the number that we have for us were inadequate. We had also concern about the capacity in terms of technology.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan formally reacts to calls for restructuring of Nigeria, describing it as counterproductive and inimical to national unity, stability, and a sustainable future. The Senate President also called on Nigerians to support efforts at ensuring the desired autonomy for local governments in the country.
Diminish the local government system. I think we can attribute some of the security issues to the absence of local government system, functional local government system. For me, I think the time has come for us to take up the challenge, the gauntlet, to ensure that the local government system functions. This is in keeping with looking for ways, for means, for solutions to the security challenges that we face.
Muslims must deploy the lessons of Ramadan, which include patience, perseverance, and charitable deeds to improve and impact society. Islamic scholars who gave insights into the significance of Ramadan, compared the lessons of Ramadan to a spiritual certificate that must be used to change society positively.
They have learned that to continue giving out charities, righteousness, controlling their utterances, or being an obedient human being to the entire, to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as well as respecting the law of the land and respecting the people who are on or in authority.
Well, that concludes the updates for now. Do join us a little later on for more updates. Good morning.
Service of the NTA.
Assembly of men and women that have represented Nigeria at the highest level of sports in history is about to take place. For the first time, Nigerian Olympians that have represented the country from time immemorial up to now will converge in the city of Abuja on June 24. And we will be assembling, of course, so many of them via Zoom to make it a truly global event. And they want to discuss how they can be more impactful in the affairs of sports in the country. There is this adage that great sports people don't make great administrators. Well, the Nigerian Olympians Association intends to change that narrative. And they will be doing that when they converge, as I said, in Abuja on June the 24th. On the Sports Parliament tonight, we shall be going through history, through generations of Olympians. And they'll be bringing us their stories, one by one. And they'll be also sharing their vision with us and what they think they can do. So it's going to be a who is who in the history of Nigerian sports as far as the Olympians are concerned. I am Shegun Odegwami. I am also an Olympian. So when you see my name, you will find O-L-Y at the end of it. Sitting with us tonight, YD, yes, all the way from Ibadan, the Ibadan man, the table tennis.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Here again.
I'm happy to be on the program tonight.
Fantastic. And of course, you are becoming an encyclopedia gradually, Boyega. Boyega Okegbenro is right here in the studio with us. How are you, Boyega?
I'm very well, Mr. Speaker. Good evening, gentlemen on the set. Except I didn't add Olympian to my name too. I'm an Olympian in the media sector too, 3-time Olympian.
Well, I believe that more parliamentarians will join us as the show progresses. Just as I also believe that a lot of these our guests will also join us as the show begins. But I can already see the face of the president himself, the president of the Nigeria Olympians Association, who is moving mountains, who is changing the landscape of the association in Nigeria. Olympian himself, my good friend Olimide Oyedeji, the legend.
O-L-Y.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I am not your friend. You are my mentor, you are my father, you are my brother. And I'm growing up watching you play with ICC. So
hey, stop telling those stories, man. Stop telling stories.
No stories, sir. So just you're a great mentor. Great to be here. Very much appreciated.
And one of the greatest Olympians ever in our history, one that has gone to more Olympic Games than only one other Nigerian. She's beautiful. I just told her this evening that I knew her when she was a baby, but she's now a grown-up. And she's turning her picture sideways. So turn your picture upwards properly so that you can... So I believe all Nigerians know who I'm referring to now as she steadies her camera. Beautiful Funke Oshinaiki, all the way from Germany. Funke, how are you tonight?
I'm very fine, thank you. Good evening, everybody, and good evening, viewers.
Yes, you are a mother. You are going to be a grandmother very soon, but you are still looking 16. You are still looking 16. And I have the magical face here. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to make sure that we can hear her voice. We haven't been able to hear her voice. But if she can hear us, let her try and say something now. Because for the first time, I have not seen her on Nigerian television, but for the first time, since they created history in 1992 at the Barcelona Olympics, and I started using her picture and that of the other three runners who created sensation all over the world to make the Olympic movement as a whole appreciate the essence of the Olympics. So for the first time that I will see her on television, even if it's just to see her face, you even can't hear her voice, is Christy Opara. Christy, say something if you can hear your voice. If you can't hear your voice, just wave to Nigerians because it's so lovely to see you. Oh, we still have not solved that problem. Okay, but we'll still try and get Christy to come on the show. I see other people joining the show, but just hang on, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we are going to give you a treat of a show tonight. Join us after the break.
NTA Sports 24, where sports thrive.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the Sports Parliament. That program that feeds you on the best conversation of sports in the whole of Africa. Once again, we have a galaxy of stars that are already on the show and that will join us as the show progresses. I can see the face of Olympian, African tennis champion at the time, the person I deal with occasionally when we go play tennis in Miami, Professor Sadiq Abdullahi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
So the beating continues, eh? Okay. So let's start tonight's show celebrating. Christy, we can't hear your voice, but we can see your face. Aha, you can hear me now. Okay, so just wave to Nigerians because we can't hear you. Christy, just wave to Nigerians. Please, let's speak Christy Opara. Okay, but she's waving. Very good, very good. Nigerians can see you. So just sit and enjoy the conversation tonight because we can't hear your voice. So just sit. Occasionally, we'll zoom to you and show your face. It's good to see you again after such a long time. We are actually starting today's show with you. We are starting today's show with you because you were part of a quartet that became the true symbol of Olympism in the world, where you do not have to come first to be a winner. When you are an Olympian, you do not have to come first to be a winner. Well done, Christy. Christy is waving to all Nigerians. Good to see you. Good to see you. So she was part of that quartet in 1992, Barcelona, when in the 4x100 meters relay, they didn't come first, they didn't come second, but when the Olympics, we had to celebrate the centennial of the Olympics, 100 years of the Olympics, and they were looking for pictures that best illustrate the essence of the Olympics. Determination, friendship, focus, the celebration and all of that. They picked the picture of our 4 Nigerian girls winning the bronze medal at that event. Sit back and enjoy for the next 1 minute as we run through that race again.